In the early 20th century, the gold standard was a cornerstone of the American economy, linking the value of the dollar directly to a specific amount of gold. This system provided stability and predictability, fostering trust in the currency. However, as the nation faced economic challenges, particularly during the Great Depression, the limitations of the gold standard became apparent. In 1933, President Franklin D. Roosevelt took a bold step by suspending the gold standard, marking a significant shift in monetary policy. The transition to a modified gold standard allowed for more flexibility in managing the economy. Under this new system, the dollar was no longer directly convertible to gold for individuals, but the government maintained a gold reserve to back the currency. This change was crucial in enabling the government to respond more effectively to economic crises, allowing for increased money supply and stimulating growth. The impact of these changes on the economy was profound. By moving away from the rigid constraints of the gold standard, the U.S. could implement policies that promoted recovery and growth. This shift laid the groundwork for modern monetary policy, influencing how we understand economic stability and the role of government in managing the economy today. Understanding this transition helps us appreciate the complexities of our current financial system. Historical context of the gold standard. The origins of the gold standard in the United States can be traced back to the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the US dollar as a gold-backed currency. This act aimed to create a stable monetary system and foster economic growth. By the mid-19th century, the gold standard was firmly in place, with gold coins circulating widely and the government backing paper currency with gold reserves. This system provided a reliable measure of value, influencing monetary policy and promoting economic stability. Throughout the 19th century, the gold standard played a crucial role in shaping the U.S. economy. It facilitated trade and investment by ensuring that currency values remained consistent, which helped to build trust among consumers and investors. However, the rigidity of the gold standard also posed challenges, particularly during economic downturns. The inability to easily adjust the money supply often exacerbated financial crises. Key events, such as the Panic of 1893 and the Great Depression, highlighted the limitations of the gold standard. As economic pressures mounted, calls for reform grew louder. The eventual abandonment of the gold standard in the 1930s marked a pivotal moment in U.S. economic history, paving the way for more flexible monetary policies that could better respond to the needs of a changing economy. Understanding this historical context is essential for grasping the evolution of America's financial system. Reasons for leaving the gold standard. The Great Depression, which began in 1929, had a profound impact on monetary policy in the United States. As unemployment soared and businesses collapsed, the rigid constraints of the gold standard became increasingly problematic. The fixed nature of gold-backed currency limited the government's ability to expand the money supply, which was crucial for stimulating economic growth and providing relief to struggling citizens. During this period, the limitations of the gold standard were starkly evident. The inability to adjust currency values in response to economic conditions meant that deflationary pressures worsened the crisis. As banks failed and credit tightened, the economy spiraled further into recession, prompting urgent calls for change. Government intervention emerged as a necessary response to the economic turmoil. Under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the administration recognized that a more flexible monetary policy was essential for recovery. By abandoning the gold standard, the government could increase the money supply, lower interest rates, and implement programs aimed at revitalizing the economy. This shift marked a significant departure from traditional economic practices, allowing for greater government involvement in managing economic stability. Ultimately, the combination of the Great Depression's devastating effects, the limitations of the gold standard, and the need for proactive government intervention led to the US abandoning the gold standard, reshaping the landscape of American economic policy. The modified gold standard. A modified gold standard refers to a monetary system where a country's currency is backed by gold reserves, but with significant flexibility compared to the traditional gold standard. In this system, while the government maintains a gold reserve, it does not require that all currency in circulation be directly convertible to gold for individuals. Instead, the currency is backed by gold in a more abstract sense, allowing for greater control over the money supply and enabling governments to respond more effectively to economic fluctuations. One of the key advantages of a modified gold standard is its flexibility. Unlike the traditional gold standard, which rigidly tied currency value to a specific amount of gold, the modified version allows for adjustments in monetary policy. This means that during economic downturns, governments can increase the money supply to stimulate growth without being constrained by gold reserves. This adaptability is crucial for managing inflation and addressing financial crises. Several countries have adopted similar systems, particularly in the wake of the Great Depression. For instance, the United States transitioned to a modified gold standard in the 1930s, allowing for more dynamic economic management. Other nations, such as Canada and Australia, have also implemented variations of this system, balancing the benefits of gold backing with the need for monetary flexibility. This approach has influenced modern monetary policy, emphasizing the importance of adaptability in economic governance. Impact on the economy. Leaving the gold standard had significant effects on the US economy, particularly in terms of inflation rates and currency value. After the transition, the government was able to adopt a more flexible monetary policy, which allowed for an increase in the money supply. This shift often led to higher inflation rates, especially during periods of economic recovery. While inflation can erode purchasing power, it also helped to stimulate demand and encourage spending, which was crucial for revitalizing the economy after the Great Depression. The relationship between monetary policy and economic growth became more pronounced post-transition. With the ability to adjust interest rates and control the money supply, the government could respond to economic conditions more effectively. This flexibility enabled targeted interventions during recessions, fostering a more stable environment for businesses and consumers alike. As a result, the US experienced periods of robust economic growth in the decades following the abandonment of the gold standard. In the long term, the implications for financial stability were profound. The modified gold standard allowed for a balance between maintaining some level of gold backing while also embracing the need for responsive monetary policy. This approach laid the groundwork for modern economic frameworks, emphasizing the importance of adaptability in ensuring financial stability and promoting sustainable growth in an ever-changing global economy. Global reactions and comparisons. When the United States abandoned the gold standard in the 1930s, other countries closely monitored the situation, leading to varied reactions and adaptations. Many nations faced similar economic pressures, prompting them to reconsider their own monetary policies. For instance, countries like the United Kingdom and France also moved away from the gold standard, recognizing the need for greater flexibility in managing their economies. The US experience highlighted the challenges of maintaining a rigid gold-backed currency during economic crises, influencing these nations to adopt more adaptable monetary frameworks. In response to the shifting economic landscape, international monetary policies began to emerge. This system pegged currencies to the US dollar, which was convertible to gold, allowing for a more stable exchange rate while still providing countries with the flexibility to manage their own monetary policies. Post-gold standard, the global economic landscape transformed significantly. The abandonment of rigid gold ties allowed for increased trade and investment, fostering economic growth in many regions. However, it also led to greater volatility in currency values and inflation rates as countries navigated the complexities of a more interconnected world. Overall, the US departure from the gold standard served as a catalyst for broader changes in international monetary policy and economic strategies worldwide. In this video, we explored the historical significance of the United States leaving the gold standard and the profound impact it had on the economy. We discussed how the rigid constraints of the traditional gold standard became increasingly problematic during the Great Depression, prompting a shift to a modified gold standard that allowed for greater flexibility in monetary policy. This transition not only facilitated economic recovery, but also laid the groundwork for modern monetary practices that prioritize adaptability in managing economic challenges. Understanding these changes in monetary policy is crucial for grasping the complexities of today's financial landscape. The lessons learned from this pivotal moment in history continue to influence how governments respond to economic crises and manage currency stability. If you found this discussion insightful, we encourage you to engage with our content. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos that delve into economic history and policy. Please like this video and share it with friends who might also be interested in understanding the evolution of monetary systems. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.